Part 4 of How to Win Friends and Influence People by Carnegie. And be a leader. How to change people without giving offense or arousing resentment. Welcome to Skyscape. Number 1. Begin with praise and honest appreciation. Beginning with praise is like the dentist who begins his work with Novocaine. The patient still gets the drilling, but the Novocaine is pain-killing. It is always easier to listen to unpleasant things after we have heard some praise of our good points. A leader will therefore begin with praise and honest appreciation. Number 2. Call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. Calling attention to one's mistakes indirectly works wonders with sensitive people who may resent bitterly and direct criticism. Many people begin their criticism with sincere praise, followed by the word but, and ending with a critical statement. Simply changing one 3-letter word can often spell the difference between failure and success in changing people without giving offense or arousing resentment. By changing but to and, would the receiver accept the praise without questioning the sincerity of the praise and therefore not arousing offense or resentment. This is why an effective way to correct others' mistakes is to call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. Number 3. Talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. Admitting one's own mistakes, even when one hasn't corrected them, can help convince somebody to change his behavior. A few sentences humbling oneself and praising the other party can turn a proud Kaiser into a devoted friend. Imagine what humility and praise can do for you and for me in our daily contacts. A good leader follows the principle: talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. Number 4. Ask questions instead of giving direct orders. Instead of saying do this or that, or don't do this or that, suggest, say, you might consider this, or do you think that this would work? Gives people the opportunity to do things themselves. Let them learn from their own mistakes and let them do it themselves. A technique like that makes it easy for a person to correct errors. A technique like that saves a person's pride and gives him or her a feeling of importance. It encourages cooperation instead of rebellion. Resentment caused by a brash order may last a long time, even if the order was given to correct an obviously bad situation. An effective leader will ask questions instead of giving direct orders. Number 5. Let the other person save face. Even if you're right and the other person is definitely wrong, we only destroy ego by causing someone to lose face. The legendary French aviation pioneer and author Antoine de Saint-Exupéry wrote, "I have no right to say or do anything that diminishes a man in his own eyes. What matters not is what I think of him, but what he thinks of himself. Hurting a man in his dignity is a crime. A real leader will always let the other person save face." Number 6. Praise the slightest improvement and praise every improvement. Be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise. Let us praise even the slightest improvement that inspires the other person to keep improving. In his book, I Ain't Much Baby, But I'm All I Got, the psychologist Jess Lear comments, praise is like sunlight to the warm human spirit. We cannot flower and grow without it. And yet, while most of us are only too ready to apply to others the cold wind of criticism, we are somehow reluctant to give our fellow the warm sunshine of praise. I can look back at my own life and see where a few words of praise have sharply changed my entire future. Can't you say the same about your life? Use of praise instead of criticism is the basic concept of B.F. Skinner's teachings. This great contemporary psychologist has shown by experiments with animals and with humans that criticism is minimized and praise emphasized. The good things people do will be reinforced and the poor things will decline for a lack of attention. Everybody likes to be praised, but when praise is specific, it comes across as sincere, not something the other person may be saying just to make one feel good. Remember, we all crave appreciation and recognition and will do almost anything to get it. But nobody wants insincerity. Nobody wants flattery. Abilities wither under criticism. They blossom under encouragement. To become a more effective leader of people, praise the slightest improvement and praise every improvement. Be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise. Number 7. Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. If you want to approve a person in a certain respect, act as though that particular trait were already one of his or her outstanding characteristics. Shakespeare said, "Assume a virtue. If you have not, it might well be to assume and state openly that other people have a virtue you want them to develop. Give them a fine reputation to live up to, and they will make substantial efforts rather than see you disillusioned. There's an old saying, give a dog a bad name and you may as well hang him, but give him a good name and see what happens. If you want to excel in that difficult leadership role of changing the attitude or behavior of others, give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. Number 8. Use encouragements. Make the fault easy to correct. Tell your child, your spouse, or your employee that he or she is stupid or dumb at a certain thing, has no gift for it, and is doing it all wrong. And you have destroyed almost every incentive to try to improve. But use the opposite technique. Be liberal with your encouragement. Make the things seem easy to do. Let the other person know that you have faith in his ability to do it, that he has an undeveloped flair for it, and he will practice until the dawn comes in the window in order to excel. If you want to help others to improve, use encouragement. Make the fault seem easy to correct. Number 9. Make the other person happy about doing the things you suggest. The effective leader should keep the following guidelines in mind when it's necessary to change attitudes or behavior. 1. Be sincere. Do not promise anything that you cannot deliver. Forget about the benefits to yourself and concentrate on the benefits of the other person. 2. Know exactly what it is you want the other person to do. 3. Be empathetic. Ask yourself what it is the other person really wants. 4. Consider the benefits that person will receive from doing what you suggest. 5. Match those benefits to the other person's wants. 6. When you make your request, put in a form that will convey to the other person the idea that he personally will benefit. People are more likely to do what you would like them to do when you make the other person happy about doing the thing you suggest. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Follow along for more to come, and until then, cheerio.